Let's talk about apps and applications. Now, I understand that these are used interchangeably sometimes, but really there is a difference in Windows. Let's actually look at three different kinds of applications here. And I'm going to go ahead and open Visual Studio, which is a programming interface. I'm going to click File, New Project, as though I'm about to program something. And one thing you're going to notice here, I'm just going to choose Visual Basic because that's my language of choice, is something called Windows Desktop and Windows Universal. Now if I click Windows Desktop here, some of the options I have here are something called a console app. Now this is an application that if I write it, it only runs inside of a command line. So in other words, it runs in this, the command prompt. It has no graphical user interface at all. It would simply run inside this thing. So that is something that we would call a console app, runs in the command line. Another type is the legacy application. Let's go back here again and look under Windows Desktop. And if we just chose here a Windows Forms app, we would be creating a standard legacy type application. Applications like Word and Excel and Paint and Notepad and Clock and Calendar and all those things are very typical standard style of applications, legacy applications. The problem with these is that they don't really they don't scale well to other types of devices. If I write one on a desktop, it might look funny on a phone, for example. And so Microsoft came up with something called the Universal Windows Platform app, which will resize itself for different computer formats and can be distributed in the Microsoft Store. It's written in a very, very different way. This time I'm going to go up here to Windows Universal, and you'll see a blank Universal app. And if I click that one and started to program, I would be building one of these Universal or UWP apps that now has properties that make it usable on any format that can run Windows, and also on can be sold and given away and distributed via the Microsoft Store. So this is kind of a totally new type of apps. Now I'm going to tell you that there are other types of apps as well, these WPF apps and so on, that I'm not going to look at. But I did want us to understand at least those three app types, which are the most prevalent ones that you're going to be ever seeing or dealing with today on your Windows 10 machine. So we have apps and applications, and I want to tell you that many new programs that used to be in applications that Microsoft is putting out are now in app form. Two great examples. The control panel was a standard application. Control panel, which when it comes up looks like this, and then the settings app is a new UWP app version of the control panel. And you can see they have a very different look and feel about them. The menus and the title bar and so on all looks quite a bit different in the two. Another one that is really common is the Edge browser, Microsoft Edge, versus Internet Explorer. So let's put these two together, and again you see you have a, let's see if I can get them such that you can see them side by side. You have a very different look and feel. Again, the title bar and menus all look quite a bit different between the two, and that's again because one is an app, the Edge is an app, and Internet Explorer is an application. So there you have it, and thank you for listening to this video, and come back and we'll talk about Windows as a Service in the next video.